there are several traits and attributes that narcissists look out for when it comes to identifying potential targets, people who can become good supply for them. One of the most talked about ones is that narcissists like people who are high in empathy, in particular, compassionate and emotional empathy. Because narcissists themselves, they severely lack in emotional and compassionate empathy, in a sense that they don't really have the ability to put themselves in other people's shoes and care about what other people feel. Narcissists do possess an abundance of cognitive empathy, which is that they can be quite good at understanding what people are feeling. But when it comes to actually putting themselves in the other person's shoes and caring about that person, narcissists are severely lacking. So narcissists like potential targets that are high in compassionate and emotional empathy. But that's not the only criteria they look out for. There are a few other things I want to touch on that are quite key and important. And unless the target has those attributes in abundance, then they're unlikely to stick around very long in a relationship with a narcissist. One of the key things that narcissists look out for are people who have people-fixing tendencies. And the way the narcissist plays that is, if they are with a target and the target has people-fixing tendencies, the person just feels like they need to fix people and help people basically at all costs, the narcissist will play that against the target a lot. And the way the narcissist does that is, if you've studied, read up on, listened to the topic of narcissism in the past, you might have come across a feature of it, which is that narcissists are really like broken children inside. Their emotional maturity was stunted at a very young age due to various possible events. Very often is due to childhood trauma. But anyway, as the series of defense mechanisms which came together, defense mechanism and coping mechanisms which came together, which actually is the NPD disorder. When you look at the narcissist, you see a facade, you see who they portray themselves to be, but inside, behind that facade, behind that set of defense and coping mechanisms, largely developed as a result of certain trauma and the repercussions of that throughout their lives. If you look behind all that, what you really have inside the narcissist is a broken child, a child who feels abandoned and who feels that no one cares, and they were severely hurt at a very young age. So what the narcissist will do is, because the narcissist is like a broken child inside, and that aspect of them comes to the surface time and time again as they allow, the narcissist will let that broken child aspect of them surface here and there when they're interacting with you, when they're in conversations with you. And when they let that broken child aspect surface and they know that you catch glimpses of it, they know that you, being a people fixer and somebody high in compassion and empathy, that you want to fix that broken child. All of a sudden you feel that it's your mission to fix them, to help them. And that's what the narcissist wants. And that's where they kind of get you, because they want you to want to help them. But the problem is they can never change. They will sell themselves, portray themselves as somebody who wants to be helped. They will make it clear to you that there's certain things about them that are broken, that they need help. But they'll only make that clear when they're playing off your attribute or weakness, depending how you consider it, which is your people-fixing tendency. They'll play that against those traits of yours to get you really hooked on the idea and responsibility and your own personal wish to fix them. So now they have you wanting to fix them, and they have you thinking that you can. So you see a broken child and you think, maybe I can love this child into a better place. Maybe I can, if I show this child that I care enough, maybe the child won't feel abandoned anymore. Maybe it'll feel loved. Maybe whatever was missing, in the narcissist's whole life, I can give it to them and help them. So the narcissist will let you try and try and try, and they will be eating it all up. That's a good supply to them. But you will always be falling short of actually being able to help and reach out to them. You'll always just be falling short of actually being able to help that broken kid. But the narcissist will play it such that they'll make you think that, okay, if you try just a little bit harder, if you commit just a little bit more, if you give just a little bit more of yourself to them, then maybe you might just have a revolutionary outcome in that you fix this broken child. So the narcissist wants you to be fully committed to trying to fix them. So you give it a bit more of your effort, a bit more of your time, a bit more of your energy, a bit more of your love. But again, you'll just be falling short. And every time you try to help and fix them, and they'll have some kind of reaction which kind of suggests and proves that you're just falling short, it's going to hurt you, because your efforts are never quite paying off. You're always just falling short. Then all of a sudden you start doubting your own ability to help people. You think you're not doing good enough. You feel that stingy kind of feeling when you put in a lot of effort to help them, but then it just shows that they didn't quite absorb it. Your energy got lost in a black hole. Now you're exhausted, but to no avail. There's no, you're not, the broken child isn't showing signs of being fixed. But the narcissist keeps that glimmer of hope in you, making you think that no, if you try just a bit harder, you can fix the broken child. And if you don't know who you're dealing with, you'll end up sticking around way beyond what's healthy for you. So the narcissist wants people high in empathy, compassionate, emotional empathy, people who are people fixers, but also people who have a high tolerance for pain, and people who are very resilient and persistent, who, despite failing again and again at fixing the child, they don't want you to give up. They want you to give everything you have towards them, direct it towards them. Every good thing within you, every attribute, every ounce of love that you can conjure up, they want everything directed towards them. And they want you to think that if you do just a little bit harder, you might break through and fix. But you will always just fall short. And if you quiet down a bit, they have uncanny ways of inviting you to try to help them even more. They're always pulling you in. You give it everything you got. You're being persistent and resilient. You're suffering a lot because you're feeling depleted. You're feeling stung. You're giving it everything, but actually you're not really seeing any change on their part. But that's how it's always going to be. There never is going to be change on their part. They want you to think there will be. Oftentimes, by the time people realize that narcissists can't change, they themselves are in the deepest of black holes imaginable, and they don't know how to get out. If you keep trying, that's the only way you go. Unfortunately, you have to accept that you will never fix the broken child inside the narcissist. Never, ever, never, ever. It's just not going to happen. If the narcissist is going to improve and get fixed, it's going to be on their own account and their own doing. The moment they try to make anybody else be the one who's responsible for fixing them, that will never happen. Your humanity is being used against you to hang you. Your desire to help another human being, a poor kid inside them, is what's being used to hang you. So you really have to accept that you're not going to fix it. You're not going to help it. And you have to let it go. Because it's the worst possible damage that will be done to you if you hang in there. So yeah, whether or not narcissists can improve and be fixed, usually they don't change, or at least not very much. For those that do change, it comes from within. But one thing is for sure, you will not be the one to fix them. There's no ifs or buts about it. You will not be the one to fix them.